In this video, I want to cover a fairly complex subject in WooCommerce, variations in products. We had similar trouble in JigoShop, and part of the problem is that these variations and the pricing of them is a complicated matter, and it's how you create a user interface to deal with it. Let's see how this goes. So we've got our blue stripe bowl. Let's say it comes in three sizes, small, medium, and large, and we have different prices for them. Okay, so let's go into our product here, and you're going to see attributes. I'm going to add an attribute here, and I'm going to say it's size. All right, and I can put in text here, or in this case, I've got three attributes, so I need to separate them, and it tells you here by the pipe symbol. So I'm going to go small pipe, medium pipe, large. All right. Visible on the product page, yes, I want that. So I update, and I go back to my product page, and I say, is it visible? Well, sort of, under additional information here. There's our size, small, medium, and large. But I have different prices for them, and that doesn't seem to be changing any pricing up here. So how do I do that? All right, I go back over to here, and this is where we need variable products. Okay, that means there's a variation in pricing for the product is really what it means. There are other variations, but primarily for most people, it's going to be a variation in pricing. Now, as soon as I did that, as soon as I made this a variable product, you'll notice there's no more price here. That's because the price is going to be set in the variations. Okay, so I go over here. Now, I find this a bit confusing, this whole structure here. So I'm going to take this very simply, and we're just working on price here. This bulk editing has to do with when you've got some variations. We don't have any yet. So the edit button, like when you click this, it says enter a value, and you enter it, and nothing happens. Well, that's because we're not bulk editing yet. And yet this feels like the first thing we should be doing. Just ignore this. What you want to do is add a variation. So we do that. And you'll notice the little number here. It's given it a SKU number, but actually it's not the SKU number. It's the number inside of WordPress, the ID number. And that can get a little confusing because it's a dash, and this is a variation of this number. So it's an internal thing here. Our actual SKU number, if it's going to be different, so we're going to assume this variation will be different, and I'm just going to put in here, let's say B8374A is going to be its different SKU number. The price, so let's say it's a small one, is going to be $10. And I would change my weight and dimensions because they're going to be different for a smaller plate. It's enabled. Use the same tax class, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. Let me update this. All right. Now, when I do that, I have my variation now, and I can see if I drop this down, this is the variation here with the different pricing. And I've updated. So let me refresh my page here. And I come back, and actually there's nothing. There's my additional information, but that was the attribute I added. Now the price has disappeared, or at least the add to cart's disappeared. It says $10. This is where it can get very, very confusing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to remove this completely. And let's start again. Part of it is that this attribute over here, you could add this, but these are really just informational attributes. Here are some things about it. You might want to put in some specifications here. What we really want is we want something on this drop-down menu other than custom product attribute. So let's remove this, and we actually have to create our attribute somewhere else. And this is, again, where it can get a little confusing. Do that over here under Products, Attributes. Now we're starting to get to it. So I'm going to add the attribute of size. Don't worry about the slug. It'll put that in automatically for you. You want to keep this on select. That's the default. You could switch to text, but you want select because you're going to have multiple choices. I add my attribute, and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, but I need different sizes. Where do I add those? And there doesn't seem to be anything here to add those. Now that we've created it and we've chosen select, we have this button over here, configure terms. Now we can go in and we can add new sizes. Okay, so I'm going to add small, and I'm going to leave the slug there. Okay, and then parent none, add new size. Okay, so I've got small, and now I'm going to add medium, and we drop that there, and we add finally large. Okay, so now we've got large, and we're going to add our new size. So now we come back to our product over here. We go down to our blue stripe bowl. Now remember, it's still a variable product. We want to keep it as a variable, all right? And I'm going to add in, under variations here, it warns me before adding variations, you've got to add and save some attributes. So you think, well, but I did add attributes, but not for this product, okay? So we go to attributes here. Now when I drop this down, I have size available, and I can add size. Now remember, I don't have to use everything there. Let's say I'm just going to use small and medium. I don't have to use everything there. By the way, if I add a new one here called extra large, if I add that in here, watch what happens. Oh, I can't do it through there. I can't do it. So I have to do this. Extra large. So we hit OK. So it shows up here as extra large. Cool. I'm going to update this. I want it visible on the products page. And this is very crucial, use for variations. Okay. If I don't click this, it's not going to show up under my variations here. All right, so I hit update. By the way, if I go over to product attributes, watch what happens. Remember I added extra large? Now it shows up here. It's available for any other sizing products across the board. So manually entering it there also added it into here. So that's kind of handy. All right. So when I come back in another video, I'm going to show you exactly how these attributes get attached to the variations and then show up on our catalog page.